In a world in crisis, can three idiots find hope in the darkest of places? Will love conquer all, or will hate win out in the end? This is a show called Hate.
Welcome to A Show Called Hate, a podcast in which we explore love, hate, and everything in between in search of greater meaning and perhaps a little perspective. I'm John.
I'm Nick.
I'm Chris.
And I'm so tired.
Yes.
We're all tired. We're all very tired today.
The tired episode.
Should we compare excuses as to why we're tired?
I think we should.
We're the tired boys.
I mean, we started this show because we were middle-aged and hate-filled. So I feel like generally becoming just haggard and weary at all times, that was the next logical step.
We're the haggard boys.
I feel tireder generally.
Yeah,
in my life.
I'd say so. Yeah,
than I did when I was like 20. Definitely.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
We're only in our 30s as well, so you know, sort of average life expectancy wise, we can look to have. Like, we're only a third through sort of average sort of life.
I mean, that is hideous.
Yeah. Only a third. It's felt like an eternity for me. I don't know about you.
But also, like, that terrifies me to think that, like, I'm maybe charitably a third, like, through the beautiful years I'll have on this planet.
I think
probably less.
I think it is charitable.
Let's be honest.
It is charitable, yeah.
And yet, I don't really count probably the first 20 years of my life in a weird way. Like, I feel like, 0 to 10, what are you doing? Nothing. Nobody achieved. No kid ever achieved anything.
That is a waste of time. Like 0 to 10.
Yeah, basically. You're not really a person. You're just
it's a really selfish time.
Your first 10 years is more for everybody else than you.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad someone had the courage to say it.
Go.
Like, you're not a person. You're just an odd piece of furniture. For your parents,
you're like
really.
a sort of real novelty accessory that your parents have decided to bring into their life.
Yeah, you're like a prop that might come good.
Yeah,
you're a really good topic of conversation for your parents to start conversations with other parents with, which is good. That's a big advantage. You're an opportunity for them to exercise a little bit of customization in terms of choosing a name. You know, at this point, you are just an object to service their egos, really.
It's a great way to, like, if you're ever worried about the colour of your stool, like, now you have a machine in your house which will generate stool at quite an alarming rate. And it can't clean it up. And if it can, it won't. So, like, you're just going to have to get used to having... It's just basically like a bad table that also kind of shits.
Or like a really noisy Roomba. Like
yes. No, Nick, that's because a Roomba does something useful.
Well, does it? I mean, I think that could be a hate for a future episode, couldn't it? Yeah. All I've seen of Roombas is just fucking things up, smearing shit around houses. That's all I've seen. I don't know if they actually do anything.
Your experience may differ.
I mean, cats seem to like sitting on them.
Yeah. Or at least the internet tells us that.
Or we pick up cats and put them on the Roombas for the ironic video.
Yeah.
Why are you tired, Chris Ray? Is there a reason, or you just?
Well, I've been looking at wedding venues today. So I've been to 4 different wedding venues.
Living room,
in one day,
kitchen,
in
dining
one day,
room.
Yeah. I went to the field behind my house, the field behind John's house, and the field behind Nick's house.
Yes. Our field behind our house is the next door neighbour's house.
I went to I've been to 3 barns, actually.
Oh.
I went to 1 working barn, which was just a barn, frankly.
Okay. Yep.
Wait, so there's like cows and stuff in it?
Yeah, there was sheep out the back, yeah.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah. But I think they'd be gone if we were to have a wedding there, which we will not be.
Okay.
So that one was a no. Then we went to 2 sort of renovated posh barns, sort of in line with the wedding you had, John.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, John, your barn was lovely.
So they were quite similar to your venue, which were very nice. And we also just did a village hall in case we want to do something slightly different.
Cool.
So yeah, food for thought today, but bloody hell, it don't have to take up a lot of time.
It's because you're having to be all like, it's social interaction, you know.
It's more. Today is more people than I have seen for the last few months.
I mean, that's partly it. We're out of training. Like, we've lost our experience of talking to other people. But also, it's like you've got to keep that sort of cheery manner up, haven't you? When you're
that's the problem. I've got to go. Oh wow, this is what a great pile of shit.
You've got to put on like such like you've got to work so many little like things into your dialogue where you've got to say, well, this is lovely, dear, I can't wait to tell my church group about this, or you know, I can't wait to tell the people down at the food bank about how lovely this is.
I can't wait to tell my Alcoholics Anonymous group about it.
Oh no, I took it too far. Oh no. But no, we saw another. Well, it was sort of a wing of someone's house almost.
Oh, okay. Did
the other day, it was like a barn and some cottages and like a wing of his house and all of his garden.
Okay.
Which was very nice. But we're just trying to figure out what we want really at the moment.
So are you going down the route of like getting a venue, just like a big open space, and then bringing in like food? I think
we would prefer that route.
When we were doing our research, anywhere that offered everything was so much more expensive.
Yeah, like it's more expensive and two, not three. Two. What comes after one?
I don't know.
And two. Obviously, people have had that wedding before.
Yeah,
you sort of want a personal wedding, don't you?
That's a very good point.
That's what I think. So
that's what I think.
There's been a couple of places like that. That's what I think. Whatever anyone else thinks is wrong. So
okay, good.
We only really looked at 2 venues on one
You're
day,
lucky.
And we fell
that is lucky.
And we fell in love with the second one, like just then and there.
Did you only look at 2 total?
Yeah.
Oh right, cool. That's good.
That has upset me.
I'm so sorry. I mean, like we had this big debate. The debate was not whether we liked it; it was whether is it bad to go for the second venue you've seen on the first day.
Well, to be fair, John, you went for the first suit you saw.
That's true.
With help from your best men, who shall remain nameless.
But there's a chance that we were bored and wanted to get it over with. I don't know. I don't want
to. Didn't we buy the first suit we found and went to the pub?
I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah, we did.
I'm almost certain that's what happened.
But you make it sound like we were slacking off. Like it was more like.
Well, we were a bit.
We just got it right. Like the first time, it was kind of like, I guess we could get this suit.
Well, to be fair, you had given us a brief. A vague brief, and then we sort of I can't even remember who got the suit off the rack, but we went, oh yeah, there you go.
There it is.
That's the one.
That's the suit. That's the one.
It was like that. The wedding venue. It's like you almost feel guilty that you found something that worked so quickly.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of like, well, should we? Is this a problem with us? Like, do we actually just have like really low expectations and we've met them, or are we just easily pleased or something? It's like it's meant to be an ordeal.
I'm not sure. Thing is, with wedding venues, it's also obviously personal, but there probably isn't a wrong answer.
No, I don't think.
If you're happy with it, then it don't really matter.
That's my opinion. Fits in your budget. We were lucky, if you could call this lucky, in the sense that Ali's mum found a venue and my parents found a venue. And then we realised that a small war was brewing.
And then they had a fight to the death.
Yeah, I mean, it was close to full-on, like, fisticuffs. So we were like, we need to find a third option. We needed to find a third option. And we went with that because we had to stop the fight, to stop the war. But we did look at more than just those 3.
It is weird. I guess you've got this to look forward to. That's a weird thing. Like, Nick and I can probably sound like we're wedding experts, but we've each only done it once. Like, there's no pattern there. But like, it's funny how, like, the stress of planning a wedding. It's funny, like the weird little things that end up becoming an issue. Like, I remember my dad being absolutely like this is the biggest issue that's ever affected any venue or event ever is whether there will be a tablecloth in the evening. Because it's like we had a catering company coming in, and the idea is that, you know, they put the tablecloths down, they lay the table, put the food out, then they clear out, and then it's party.
They'll take the tablecloths.
And they'll take the tablecloths, yeah. And that was suddenly.
Oh my god!
And it was like, and I said, well, what are you doing for food in the evening? Well, we're having this really cool pizza van, and he was like, but what about the tablecloth? And I was like, well, we won't have
Think
one.
of that, did you, John?
I was like,
Didn't think of the
they're just
tablecloth.
really nice, like wooden tables. We'll just eat on those. He's like, you can't eat without a tablecloth. I was like, Dad, I think people can. I think you're losing the focus here.
Sure. Why would that be an issue though? Because it's not your table.
No.
I mean,
So what if it does get mucky?
it isn't an issue, is it? Let's be honest, it's not an issue.
I think he was maybe thinking like if anyone's like fancy suit fabric brushes bare wood, it will just like
They might get some
erupt in-
algae or something on it.
Disintegrate.
Yeah.
Your parents were a little bit unsure about your pizza van, weren't they? Like that was very much a wild card in their eyes, and I think maybe the tablecloth was just a way to try and get you to not do the pizza van.
The moral of that story is that my dad ate 12 slices of pizza.
That's what's so amazing about it, is that for everything he said, he
Yeah.
fucking
You
loved
didn't
the
have any,
pizza
did you?
in
You
the
booked it. You didn't have any pizza.
I didn't know.
No, because
Yeah.
his dad ate it
It was
all.
good- it
There
was good
none
pizza,
left for
actually.
anyone.
One of my favourite things about your wedding, Nick, well, I guess yours and Ali's,
there were
it was really like a team.
Two people were
team
getting
event.
married.
It was
that
mostly
day.
mine, but yeah.
I loved how the band got their van
Yeah.
stuck in a really muddy field.
That was great.
Well, we
That
all
was
got
amazing.
stuck
That was
because
magical,
drove
yeah.
That was-
to your wedding. I think was planning to drive back, and then it just got stuck. So we were like, "No, can't drive that.
No.
I'm gonna have to get someone to give us a lift." And then we got it out the next morning.
Yeah, what was remarkable, I think, about, and this is testament to you, John, and the other best men, is that
Aw.
I had no idea this was going on at all. So when the
Oh,
band was
shit.
stuck, yeah. So
Sorry.
like, no, it's good. It's good.
Cat out the bag.
Well, I know now, yes, but yeah, no, it was awesome because you although it kind of wasn't, because like I think it was about 11 o'clock at night or something, you came back onto the marquee, and it's like you, Dave, and Phil just looked like bedraggled rats, kind of, and there was just mud everywhere, and your hair was just like completely sopping wet, and I was like, what the fuck happened to you guys? But yeah, I had a great time. So
I went to a wedding because your wedding was pretty wet in terms of the weather, but it was fine. It was manageable because there was
Yeah.
obviously a marquee and then a separate indoor area, and people
Yeah.
were going back and forth. I went to a wedding once in like July that was all outdoors apart from a marquee, and I'm not joking, pissed down the whole day. I've never seen rain like it, and certainly not in July. I ended up having to push a taxi out the mud, and I was wearing like a blue suit.
oh god.
So I got back in the taxi, and I was just covered in brown. I was like,
And
"All right,
let's be
everyone."
honest, you were pretty drunk at the time.
Big time. I can't push a taxi out the mud.
Certainly not sober.
Yeah, I would never even volunteer to do that sober.
You think you were pushing a taxi out
Yeah.
the mud? I mean, I think it was a pram.
It was,
and
it was,
I think
it was
your
actually a
own.
horse that lived there.
It was quite happy in the
Yeah.
mud, actually.
Oh god. I mean, one thing like I definitely kind of like really admired about your wedding, Nick, was the
Oh.
the colours. Like it was so kind
I've
of
still
like
got the badge from your wedding.
Yeah.
we got badges. That
And
was-
the
that was fun.
You did.
and
Yeah,
the
little
little
enamel
tree
badges.
thing I think you made in the glass.
They're like little.
Yeah, that was
what's
awesome.
the word? Like little dioramas.
We've still
almost
got that.
inside upturned jars. Yeah, the colours were probably one of the most important things for me, because like they sort of informed everything else. And I was like, I'm not normally like a crazy person. No, I'm not normally,
crazy.
that anal or much of a perfectionist about things. Like quite often I have a let's get this just done kind of attitude rather than
Yeah.
done to perfection. But I was so
So, kids, if
unrelenting.
you're looking for a graphic design,
If you're looking for an artist or a graphic designer, I'll just do 50% of what you
If
need.
you're looking for a professional job,
Don't look here, kids.
keep looking.
It's true though. Like it's genuinely like what I'd say in an interview was a weakness, is that I sometimes just put something out. But anyway, enough about that. I was relentless on the colours completely. Like we would go and find something like serviettes or something, and we'd like look at them in the colours that we thought, and I was like, it's not quite right. And I was like, yeah, but it's right enough. And I was like, it's not. It's
you
fucking
need
not.
that hue color chart, like
Yeah,
the
well,
hashtag number color code thing.
They're like the Pantone and the
yeah.
hex code. Yeah. But like I developed this sort of impossible color vision where I just knew it wasn't right, and then I was like, I think it is right, and then I'd get a swatch out and I'd be like, see. And she'd be like, it's out by a fraction of a hue, you know. But yeah, that's why it was so
Bunting is all
effective.
wrong. It was like It was the most, and I mean this in a really, I mean this nicely. It was the most like designed wedding I think I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Like it was like it's like Photoshop walked Ali down the aisle, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will take that as a compliment because that was like we sort of scrutinized every little nut and bolt to make it the way we wanted it to be. And so if you saw that, then
I've never seen your wedding video, and seeing as it was such a production.
Oh, really?
There's people hanging from the rafters filming your wedding. The production values of it.
It's through the roof. We had drones. No, that's not true. We didn't.
I feel like I may have seen a short version, but Ali said there's like a 3-hour long version.
Yeah, there's like a completely uncut version, which is like 3 hours long. And then there's like a 40-minute cut, and then there's like a 3-minute cut.
It's weird because it's actually longer than the wedding.
Yeah, it's really odd. Yeah.
Like the Battle of Helm's Deep has been stuck in just to like pad it out.
We filmed it over nights for 3 months, like Helm's Deep.
There's just so much excessive slow-mo in it, even when it's not required. Like, even the speeches are like...
but it's like... The added footage is just seamless. Like, you wouldn't even notice. It's like you know, Theoden's like... and what can man do against such reckless hate? I do.
Yeah. Hey! Clap, 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 clap. Yeah.
So it begins.
So Rev, not to get too many spoilers, but you're looking at a summer wedding or a winter wedding?
Neither.
Oh.
Spring is the preferred time
Quantum
of year.
wedding.
The reason being, A, I don't want to be cold, and B, I don't want to get burnt.
Oh, I see.
So spring is about right.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm not good in the sun, as you know.
I don't like wearing I struggle wearing a suit at the best of times. Like, I kind of love it, but I don't like being constricted. So, like, if you're super hot.
Yeah. I love a suit. I love wearing suits.
Yeah.
But I think spring would be best for both of us because we're not good in the hot weather.
Fair thing.
So that is the ideal, but obviously with everything going on, who knows?
Well, listeners, you'll all be invited, of course. So
yes, every single person listening to this podcast is
Rev,
invited.
Make sure you put make sure you leave 8 seats aside.
Yeah,
so we can get all the entire
reserved for a show called Hate audience.
Yeah. 8 will be fine. It's probably too many, to be honest. But do 8.
I think
do
that's
8
too many.
Oh,
I don't want to have to pay £90 for someone who might not show up.
Exactly. This is ridiculous. So make sure you show up.
Right. Okay. Well, welcome to a show called Hate. There is normally a gimmick
that's
here.
Right, yeah.
Who would like to bring a hate to the table?
I've got hate.
Oh, Nick's got a hate.
We're only 18 minutes in.
Okay, I'll keep it. I'll keep it.
Why are we on it? Are we working on the clock?
No, I'm not on a schedule. I'm just saying the format's gone out the window.
Fuck the format.
For a
king.
change.
Fuck the format. The format is king. Life assurance.
Oh.
I just
assurance or insurance.
Assurance. Well, this is the thing. Like at first, I did not know the difference.
Oh, I still don't.
Right. So I had to look it up, and the difference is just this is the boring bit. Assurance is for your life, no matter how long it is. Insurance is to a certain time. Right?
No.
So,
What?
so for example, if you took out a life assurance policy, it would be potentially infinite, but obviously humans do die. I've heard. They eventually will at some point die. But if you live to 150, you would still be covered by a life assurance policy. But if you got a life insurance policy, they would say you're covered till you're 80. And then after that...
What if I said, hello?
Hello, Chris.
Company. Hello, insurance broker.
This call will be recorded, by the way.
I'm going to live until I'm at least 150. Doctors have confirmed it. It's going to happen. Even if I get hit by a bus, I will not die.
Okay, hold on. Let me just check.
Yeah.
Fuck, yeah, you actually are.
Yeah, no, yeah. I demand
Daryl,
insurance.
it happened.
We found him. We found him. He's the first Homo novus.
I want insurance.
You want insurance for to up to 150
Up
years
to
old.
150. Will you provide that?
Hold on.
Bearing in mind I'm 80 now.
Okay, hold on. No.
Not really. Oh.
You're 80 now?
I'm 80 now.
Definitely not. You're probably going to die in minutes. I
Okay,
don't
but
think
I'm
you'll even
not, but
survive this phone call.
The doctors have said I'm going to live forever, and why would they lie?
Okay, I may be getting a little confused now. I
Okay.
thought the whole point of like a life insurance or assurance policy, whatever, was less to help you and more to help your significant other.
Absolutely, or to pay any outstanding debts that which others close to you would probably inherit as a result of your death.
Okay,
Yes,
okay. So
100%.
what you're saying is a life insurance policy goes up to a certain year. It's got like a
Yes.
cap. So
At
say it
which
goes
point,
up.
let's say it goes to 80 and you live to 8012, I nearly said.
82. You lived to 8012. So 92.
So there's some discrepancies on this form. A lot of these numbers don't exist.
These are imaginary numbers.
Oh, I see. You're 8012, and you were born on the 31st of March.
34th of Febreghast. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, who took out this policy and you're fired? Yeah, so let's say you took it out till you're 18, you live to 95 or whatever. When it comes to 80, if you then die after that point, then there's going to be no money coming to your significant others.
Oh, that's a bit shit.
Wait, sorry. So genuinely, if I say I die at the age of 80-12, but my policy...
Very popular age to die.
It is. It's one of the most famous ones.
But my policy only goes up to 80.
Yeah.
So my significant other won't get anything.
No. So apparently, in my conversation I had, an hour-long conversation I had with this guy, who was actually a really nice and really helpful guy, but there was just so fucking much to talk about. He explained to me that quite often what happens is, because if you take an insurance policy out, one that ends on a certain date, it's going to be cheaper than assurance, because assurance could be so long, potentially, that they hike the premiums up in order to cover themselves for this potential, right?
Yeah.
You know, the idea that insurance, there's a very good chance they won't ever have to pay out, because you're dying earlier than your sort of predicted average life expectancy is rarer, I suppose, than living out that time. So if you get out an assurance, they will have to pay. They basically just have to pay out no matter what, whereas insurance they don't. But he said what happens is that if you cross that point, so when I get to 80, say, because I've got an insurance policy, so when I get to 80, what they'll often do is, because your whole situation might have changed, so you might have more money, you might have a big old pension, you might be a millionaire, your significant other might have died, and so therefore, and you might have paid the mortgage off, and all sorts of other shit like this. So all of your requirements are different now. So he says what people often do then at that age is they take out a funeral life insurance policy. And what that is a much smaller, much tighter little thing that basically just pays out when you die to cover your funeral costs.
Isn't that like... So you've got to 80-12.
Got to 80-12.
You got to 80-12. So like your policy...
The grand old age.
Your policy ran out at 80. You've had 12 years of living dangerously because you're
just wild. Like, and I would push it. I would be doing motorcycle jumps,
heroin.
I would be fighting seagulls. I would be doing it all.
There was a woman who did a abseil off Eagle Tower, which is Cheltenham's tallest building, if you don't already know. And she was like 90 something. And she's been doing all wing walks and all this, that, and the other, like all this daredevil stuff.
She needs to stop.
Because she got to 90. And I was speaking to her because I was charged with looking after her for the morning.
You were holding onto the rope.
I held her walking stick. She went off the side of this building, and I was holding her walking stick, going, I don't know what to do with this.
Oh, you're like, oh, careful, don't fall.
I've got this
no,
walking stick here. But she was saying to me before, she's like, well, you know, maybe I'll fall, but fuck it. I'm so old that it doesn't really matter. That is genuinely her.
She's so old, she'd probably float.
I have a feeling that when you get to that age, because this is the crux of my hate, really, which I haven't really got to yet, other than the whole thing was just a really annoying experience of having to think like 60 years away from now kind of thing. But like, the crux of it was, I have no idea what sort of person I'm going to be at that time. I don't know whether I'm going to be rich. I don't know if I'm going to be dead. I don't know if I'm going to be like, I don't know if I'm not going to care anymore. Like, I might just not care. And she didn't care. The abseiling lady didn't care anymore. Maybe I won't need life insurance. I probably will live past my life expectancy. I hope I will. But fuck it, I won't care then.
And she's lived through, like, 2 world wars and the Boer War. So she's kind of like, she doesn't care. Like, the Greatest Generation, they didn't need life insurance.
No, they didn't. No.
Just getting turpentine and a bit
I always thought life
cardboard.
insurance was like if you died in an accident or if you died...
Well, that's the main point of it. So the big issue is if I die tomorrow, we've still got so much mortgage to pay off. Ali can only live in this house with my income coming in. So I've added all sorts of shit to my policy, such as income protection, which means that it'll pay out the equivalent of how much I was getting paid to Ali for a certain number of years to allow Ali to cope. So the whole point of it is exactly for that. It's for like if something wholly unexpected and horrible happens. But what I found really challenging and difficult in the phone call was what to do at this top end, because he kept saying to me, well, if we cap it at 80 years old, that's the average life expectancy for a gentleman currently, like yourself. And I kept saying to him,
whoa, slow down.
What do you mean by that?
You mean me specifically? How do you know?
Did you have a sausage roll in your hand at the time?
Yeah, but I had to muffle the eating sounds because I don't want him to know that. Because
was he like, now, sir, a man of, how old are you now? Okay, 34. Okay. So a man of your health, do you exercise? Oh yeah, okay, a lot. Okay, what's that sound, sir?
Nothing.
Are you no?
That sounds very greasy. What is that sound?
Wait a minute. And he's a trained professional, so he's like,
yeah,
sir, is that a Greg's sausage roll? He's like,
pastry flakiness sounds Greg's like. Is it Greg's?
And on his little notepad, he crosses out 80 and writes like 42. It's like, no, sir.
It was actually one of the medical questions. How many on a weekly basis would you say do you have sausage rolls?
Have you heard of Greg's? And then he just ticks a box.
Are you familiar with the pastry treats?
It's like it's a picture of like they've got like a glossy JPEG of like a Greg's sausage roll, and then like a Greg's kind of hot pocket, and it goes and there's a little pop quiz. It's like, which one is cheaper? And if you can answer it,
in a certain time frame, if I just quickly go, sausage roll, obviously. Oh, I mean, you know what? It's ages since I've been.
That's a weird looking carrot. What is that? And then they've already just like,
He's already like written off the whole fucking thing. He's got a new form out that's just got one question, which is like, why?
They've just rubbed a 0 off your estimated age. It is,
but yeah, the really frustrating thing was the sort of like, there's going to be an end to this policy. And then I kept saying to him on the phone, I was like, what then? What happens then? I don't understand what to do then. And he's like, well, you'll be in a very different place then. Your whole life will be very different. Dare I say it, your wife might not be around anymore. You'll have paid the mortgage off. And I'm sort of sitting there going,
depressing.
But I can't, A, this is really depressing. But B, like, I can't really work out what I'm going to need. But this is 60 years from now. Like,
but it's basically like gambling. Like insurance is kind of gambling. But it's weird that they're taking you on that emotional journey where they're like, okay, sir, now imagine you're 64, and you just celebrated like, the birth of your second grandchild, and you've had a lovely day, and you're driving home, and there's a bit of ice on the road, and whoop,
no!
And then you're like, oh my God, and they're like, yeah, we better, oh, sir, don't you think we better add like an extra 10 years to the policy? And you're like, oh God, yes, yes. And now you're covered up to 70, and they're like, okay, but sir, now you're 70, just walk with me here on a journey, you're 71, you're walking out, up the driveway to pick up the mail, you got your walker, a bit of ice on the floor. Oh no, sir, you've fallen. Yeah,
why is there always ice involved?
Well, because there's an ice age by then, I think.
And then you're like, oh my God, like I better bump it up to 80. And he's like, excellent, sir. And then you're like, but what happens next? And he's like,
now imagine you're 80, right?
But that was
you're going up your Stanner stair lift, and oh my God, there's some ice on the seat, and oh, you've slipped, and oh no.
But then he just doesn't say anything. I'm like, but what happens then, Sam?
And Sam doesn't care because Sam's just like he gets commissioned for every 80-year policy he can sell.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So it's not that I've not been listening.
Sure.
What is the difference between insurance and assurance?
So assurance never times out.
Okay. So I could die at any point and I would be covered.
Yeah. I think the reasoning is that if you do that, you are essentially wasting money, because that's the reasoning Sam gave me, is that let's say I did die at 150. Everyone I know would be dead. The Earth would be a Mad Max wasteland.
A blasted hellscape. I
would have died by spraying silver paint into my mouth and screaming at a steering wheel into a sandstorm. Yeah. That's how I would have died. So there would be nobody to inherit this money because the world would be chasing water rather than currency at this point, right?
Mm.
Yeah. And so I think his point is you would be paying higher premiums all this time. Everyone around you would have died. The Earth would be this blasted wasteland. There's no point in doing that. Let's just cap it at 80 and see what the fuck happens after that.
But surely, like, if you could afford it, like an assurance policy, and like you plan on having children, and you imagine that like their children might have children.
This is my point, though.
Why not do it?
But now, this is the thing, is that you could say this, and this is what I was struggling with on the phone with him, is that there's a billion different things that could happen in my life. I could have kids, I could not have kids, I could adopt, a family of hyper-sentient cockroaches, and they might need support because they have a very specific diet, and they need terrariums, many terrariums, Like, I don't know.
How many terrariums would you like?
I just kept saying to him, like...
please.
Your crippling terrarium addiction.
I
think you've had enough.
I just kept saying, Sam, what does everyone else do? Because I don't know what's going to happen. What does everyone do? And then Sam he had me.
I think he's lured you in there.
He had me in the palm of his hand. And then he was like, well, when you get to 80, you can just do this funeral cover. And I was like, oh, thank God, Sam. Yes, that's fine, isn't it? I could just get that later on, and I don't have to think about that right now. And then I could just sign this thing that you just
let future Nick worry about that.
That's kind of basically how I ended the conversation. Was future Nick can just. Like, he'll hate me, probably, but he'll have to deal with that.
But that's the annoying...
Let that guy worry about it.
That is kind of the annoying thing, isn't it? Because he's walking you on this emotional journey up to a certain point.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, don't worry about it. Now you're fine. It's like, well, why am I fine at 80, Sam? But apparently I'm going to slip on ice and die at 10-year intervals up until then. Like...
And to be honest, there is one core thing here that does make sense, which is that a lot of people, he said, only take out a life insurance policy to cover their mortgage, because your mortgage tends to be your biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
So if you can cover they do a load of questions and they work out how much more mortgage you've got left to pay, and then they go, well, if we take out a policy for that, you're inevitably going to have paid some off by the time something happens anyway, but it'll pay out all of it and you'll cover your mortgage, and then Ali won't be landed with something. And so it's like you could just boil it just down to that. But it's all the other stuff. It's all like what about your funeral? What about your kids? What about your cockroaches? Didn't think of that, did you? Didn't think about that, did you?
But this is what because we had a very similar discussion when we got the mortgage, because it's like we had to get a couple of policies out then, and the problem is like the person selling the insurance can make a compelling argument for everything.
Or anything.
Yeah. So when they're like, livelihood protection, and they're like, okay, so theoretically, just taking you on a journey here, we're just exploring some options. How many limbs could you keep doing your job with? And it's like, okay, should we give you like loss of one limb protection? That's like an extra £30 a month.
Yeah, then you answer like, yeah, no, that's all right, isn't it? I'll be all right.
Yeah.
And then they'll go, well, I suppose it would be all right, but I mean, just imagine if you lost two.
Oh, no, I hadn't thought of that.
So is it more expensive? Is it more expensive for each limb?
I think so, because you're kind of like,
oh, just lie.
But it's like when you get your car like recovered each year, and it's always like, okay, so
how many wheels does your car?
But it's kind of like, you get the quote, and you're like, okay, yeah, quite happy with that, cheapest quote. Compared the market and all that. Here we go, and it's like, excellent, sir. And do you want a rental car if your car breaks down? And you're like,
I don't want to pay more for it, but
no, I don't think I do. What about windscreen protection, sir? What if your windscreen cracks? You're like,
but this is what it boils down to, is that I just don't know if these things are going to happen or not, and I'm going to add all of this stuff on. And what Sam kept saying on the call is, it's peace of mind, isn't it? It's always peace of mind. And I'm just like, fuck off, Sam. I'm not having any peace of mind with this fucking conversation.
Sam selling peace of mind. And
but he's like, if we just add this on,
wishes.
That's peace of mind, isn't it? Because then if that happens, then you're covered. That's peace of mind. So that's good. So then what about cover for falcon attack? Yeah. I mean, what if you're out hiking and a falcon comes for you? It's just peace of mind, isn't it? If we're just covered for falcons,
could happen.
Then that's fine. Rock slides. Have you thought about rock slides recently? Where'd you live? Oh, there are rocks there. There are rocks there, and some of them are higher than you and your house. So I'm just saying,
volcano insurance,
mind, mate.
But what?
That's a Family Guy thing, isn't it? Well, there are no volcanoes here. Well, don't you think we're due one?
I'd love to know. Here's the thing, like, I don't think I have life insurance because I think I had to. It was like a policy around the time I got.
Yeah, I know I have it because I negotiated it and I can't remember what I did. But never, it doesn't matter. But yeah, we certainly have got it. But
it doesn't.
I still don't really
on
know
a daily basis. I don't think about it. Like it doesn't. I don't think to myself, "Oh, thank God, I've got life insurance. I'm going to go play with traffic or something like that."
It's not a worry for me at all.
But it's like, and if I didn't have life insurance, I'd probably still be fine. But if someone turned around to me and said, "Hey, we've assessed you, and now you can't get life insurance," like there's something you do in your daily basis which makes you uninsurable. Maybe it's Greg's.
This happened to me. This actually happened to me. Yeah. So like part of why I'm only recently doing it is partly because I'm lazy, but also partly because it wasn't a requirement for our mortgage, so it was something we had to do separately and privately. And Ali sorted hers out ages ago because she's way better, and it's been on my list of things to do for ages. So I was like, fine, I'm going to knuckle down, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to use the company that Ali used, who are this company called Dead Happy, and they specialize.
My God,
they're really silly. Is the best word for it, really. They've got this kind of really like daft attitude. Yeah, like, hey, you're gonna die. But their whole
how are you going to die? It don't matter with our insurance.
Their whole shtick is that it's life insurance for young people. So you pay a crazy lower sum than you would for the average.
Is Dappy the spokesperson?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he answers the phone actually. On the talk as well.
That's probably what he's doing now.
But yeah, so I went for them first, and I'm at the top end of their young age bracket. So I thought it was already a little bit, close. And then they found out about my ulcerative colitis and my asthma, and they were like, no! And that was it. I was like, great, cool.
Yeah, anything they can find to hike it up.
So yeah.
But surely, isn't everybody dying?
Everyone's got something, right?
But isn't life is a terminal disease? Like we're all getting older. Like why insure anyone?
We're all as soon as you're born, you are dying.
Yeah, think about it.
God, that's so profound.
Yeah, well, something to think about.
Anyway, I'm covered now, so I'm covered till 80, I think, or something.
So which one have you got?
I've got insurance.
Insurance, yeah.
Because I'm covered till a point. And then future Nick will have a whole raft of troubles.
Did you pay extra for the podcast protection?
Oh no!
In the event that you die, the insurance company has to provide someone of equal comedy level
for you guys.
For us, how are we going to cope?
We need to be covered for these things.
True. Well, yeah, you can have Dumpling. I guess she'll outlive me probably.
So you're newly insured. Bravo.
Yes, thank you.
Congratulations. So, as your co-hosts, I think it's only fair that we each be hyper aware of any murder attempts on your life.
Okay, that would be great. I'd appreciate that.
So I'm just saying, if you're planning on any fishing trips, maybe just give us a wink. If hey, hope nothing happens. Wink.
Hope nothing happens. Wink. If you by the way, on the next episode, our production values have gone way up and Nick's missing. You'll know why.
There was a guy who I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about the arcs of disappearing. So, humans who have famously faked their death and disappeared. And they said the problem is we actually have no data on how to do it well.
Because they've gone.
Yeah, exactly. Because if someone has mastered the art of faking their death,
that's true, yeah.
We don't find them.
We think they're dead.
Yeah, we only know the people who fail.
I bet there are some who have masterfully done it.
But there was a guy who, and I think this was only in recent years, but him and his wife, they conspired to fake his death and claim on the life insurance.
I think I remember hearing about this. Yeah.
So he
is this the lifeboat thing?
Yeah, it was on a boat or something.
Yeah.
But he went fishing. Supposedly the boat capsized. He died at sea. She collected the insurance, and then a man in what neighbours said was a very obvious wig moved in next door to her. And just bear in mind, this isn't in a big city. This is in a small little town where everybody knew each other.
This is the thing. You've got to do more than that. I mean, a wig, knowing
that's pathetic.
Knowing that you're trying to fake your own death and you're trying to claim insurance money, shave your head. At least shave your head. It'll grow back, and you'll be completely bald, and then you'll be actually bald, and then people will be like, "Well, it can't have been him. He was bald." No one would shave their head.
No, that's too obvious.
But anyway.
I've got hate.
Oh yeah.
Oh, go on then, John.
I hate the way that in TV, film, comics, whatever, I hate the way that mystic people talk.
Okay.
So
I hate everything about mystic people while we're on this, so I think I'm going to agree with this.
Okay.
Is this? I don't know what you mean by mystic people. Like,
Okay.
is this
Are we talking like clairvoyance?
Well, no, I mean more like fantasy kind of mystical people.
because they talk in like old-fashioned ye olde.
Yes, because
Thou art.
we were watching an anime the other day. We were watching Nausicaa in the Valley of the Winds, and the plot isn't important, Rev, because I don't believe you've seen this one, but it's vaguely post-apocalyptic, and there is a wise woman in the village, and of course she's old, she's hunched, she's got a hood, like she's blind, but they all turn to her for wisdom. And every scene she's in, they're like, oh my god, something bad's happening! Quick, the wise woman! And they bring her over, and she's like, somebody be my eyes, show me the truth. And like, okay, dear, okay, and they bring her up, and then they're like, what do you see, wise woman? What is it? What do your blind eyes see? And she's like, I see, like, a dark truth.
She didn't put the light in. I see like a dark truth. Holmes.
But that's my point. But it's like, in this world where, or any world, any fantasy world where there is presumably a mysticism or like a magic or even just the ability to see things beyond mortal ken, the person doing it never just says, hey, wise woman, what can you see? And she's like, yeah, I think there's some danger coming. I think there's like an army around the corner. Let's put some preparation in.
Yeah,
always
plus there's a really big raccoon like about 2 doors down that's going to eat some of your trash. That's annoying.
Yeah,
just really specific details. Like,
yes,
that'd be great.
Stop being so vague. We're always just like,
darkness on the horizon, child.
I see. Oh, the veils, they bring dark portents. Yeah, but what
And
does
then
that mean?
you always get a scene, don't you, afterwards, where they're kind of interpreting what they said.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that darkness, it could mean the army of the Red God who are waiting on a hill, like right now over there. It could be that. But also darkness. It could be what's in our hearts, in every man's heart. And it's like, but the wise woman is sat right there. Yeah. She's like, no, it's the first one. It's the first.
The thing is, though, if I had that kind of power, I feel like I would fuck about a bit.
Oh, for fuck's sake. So there we go. That's why it happens.
Yeah, you put that. Yeah, you.
I feel like I would speak cryptically. I feel like I'd go, oh, danger comes from the west.
I wonder if also it's a little bit of like protection for yourself in case you get it wrong. So it's like, if you go too specific, like there's a really big raccoon down the road and it's going to eat the lasagna box you left out in the front garden. And then a fox comes and eats a Pringle tube. You're like, not much of a fortune teller, are you?
It's almost like she's filled with self-doubt about her own performance as a psychic.
Indeed.
It's like, yeah, she's a psychic, but first and foremost, she's an entertainer. You know, she's there.
She's got to put a show on.
Because it's like, assuming it's real, like assuming your ability to see things is real, like,
which it isn't.
Yeah, but in this no, and it isn't. But in this fantasy setting, let's
fine.
Yeah, let's assume the rules of the world are different. Like, just cut to the chase. Yeah. Like, I already accept
help a guy out.
Yeah, I accept that you have magical power. I'm not a tourist. You don't need to dress it up for me. Just tell me what you bloody see. One of the worst offenders for this is Terminator. Oh, I can't even remember which Terminator it is. It might be Terminator Salvation, like the one which is actually post-apocalyptic. It's actually it's like Terminator 4. Yeah. And I always remember because I went to see that at the cinema, and I don't really know why because it's not very good.
No,
but like. It's set in the future where robots have taken over.
Where robots have happened.
And I know John Connor, the hero of the humanity, is now Christian Bale, so the actor has changed. But, like, the choice of actors means that he's aged maybe, like, 10 or 15 years.
Sure.
Like, he's not like an old man. So it's kind of like, okay, so the world ended 10 or 15 years ago. And there's a bit where, like, somebody is driving along a desert road and they stop at, like, a ruined service station or something.
Right.
And they go inside and they're, like, rummaging for, like, supplies. And then a group of, like, post-apocalyptic bandits jump out, you know, and they have a little fight. And then they imprison them. And they're like, what are you going to do to us? And they're like, your fate will be decided by the wise woman.
Baba Yaga.
Yeah, by Baba Yaga. And then this like elderly woman comes in, like leaning on a stick.
With a skull on top.
Yeah, with like a skull tied to her head. And she's got these big robes. And she's like, I see only darkness in your heart. I'm like, it's been 10 years, Janice. It's been 10 years. You were an accountant.
Wait, I know you. You were the receptionist for HSBC, weren't you? Just before it all went to shit.
Yeah, you were at the church fair. Hey, yeah. Janice. Hey, nice to see you.
Your cucumber came second, didn't it? Second. I'm pretty sure.
He speaks of the old times. No, Janice. No, Janice. I'm speaking of 2010. We all remember it.
Yeah. It's not that long ago, Janice. Do you remember? Do you still have the cucumber, Janice?
This conversation reminds me of a genuine tweet that was sent by Mansfield Town Football Club. And this was a genuine thing because I looked it up because I thought it was a joke the first time I read it. But I went back and this was an actual event. And it said, the tweet read, due to unforeseen circumstances, clairvoyant Trisha will not be able to perform tonight. We will issue refunds in the coming days. And I was like, that's gotta be a joke. But you look back and it was an actual booking. Due to unforeseen circumstances. Oh, and everyone, the whole replies was just, she didn't see that coming.
Jeez Louise.
Psychic Trish. Useless. Oh.
There were apparently, I think it was a comedy routine that Dara O'Brien did, but I remember him saying like there was a time when like Psychic Sally was doing like a live show, and at some point the audience just turned against her, like they weren't having it.
I love that because it's bollocks.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's one of those rare things where like I don't want to offend anyone. It's like no, it is a scam. I'm sorry, psychicness.
This isn't something that I will have any qualms about. Like disagreeing with someone on, like it is bollocks. They're taking your money. It's bollocks.
No one's heard from Derek Okoro since he died. Fact.
It's true.
It's a fact.
You think he'd have wormed his way back onto telly somehow?
Was that classic Derek Okoro where he's like, he's doing like house calls and he goes to like this lady's house and she's like, oh yes, no, we've got a real ghost here, and he's like, you're right, love. Well, tell you what, bring me an item. Bring me an item from the house that maybe solidifies some of the psychic energy. And she brings him a horseshoe, and she goes, oh yeah, no, we had this nailed above the door, and he picks it up and goes, oh, I'm getting horses. I'm getting horses.
Of course you are, Derek.
I'm getting horses.
I could have told you that, Derek.
Bring me an object that sums up what he's like, and she comes out with a coaxial SCART cable. I
feel like you used to watch a lot of television. I feel like you
were... But yeah, I was initially thinking like, oh, it's just like, let's be honest, like the elder wise woman in fantasy, because I can think of it just happens over and over again. But you're right, it's kind of like real world psychics kind of talk like this as well, because it's like,
well, they're deliberately being vague, like that's the whole basis of their shtick, isn't it? Is that the vaguer they are, the more likely they are to catch someone in the audience who it applies to.
Well, but also let's assume that like maybe hypothetically there are some people in the world with psychic powers.
Sure,
like there are some people who have developed the ability to talk to the dead or something. Okay, fine.
I mean, it's a big leap, but okay.
Why is it that like most psychic powers only work if you have a big audience of people and they're like, okay, I'm getting a Mary. Does anyone know a Mary?
Is there a Mary here?
It's
my granddad was called Mary. What?
I just ate a Maryland cookie. Does that count?
Yes. No, that's just thought noise.
But it's like, why does having psychic powers automatically come with the trappings of, you know, you've got to dress a certain way, you've got to present yourself a certain way. For all you know, the dude down the pub who's like spitting into a bucket, he might have psychic powers, you know.
Spitting Barry. It's like he's well known for seeing the future.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Oi,
guy.
Barry. Oh, Baz. What's my future? Are you getting another point? He's right. He's right. I am getting.
He's always right.
He is. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
He always gets it.
Bazzy, you legend. Points for everyone.
That's how to be a better psychic. Just be a party animal, like 24/7.
Yeah, you can hire Psychic Barry to come to your party, and all of his predictions are just about like getting more drinks.
Yeah, all his predictions are, you're gonna buy me a pint.
I am gonna.
I can't explain
Barry,
it. I can't explain
you
it.
legend, have another pint. Drink it fast. Hurry.
Oh my god, Psychic Barry, what a ledge. Anyway, I think I've wrung the last drops of humour out of that.
That's when it's course. Give us one, Chris.
Well, my hate is how it's socially expected for you to say something is good or acceptable when it's just shit.
Does this have anything to do with wedding venues?
No. Well, yeah. Some of them, it's like some people go on about stuff that they, and I get that they feel really passionately about it, sure. But sometimes it's just like, but it's just a bit shit, innit? I mean, I could tell you it's good, you can tell me it's good, but we both know it's a bit shit. I feel like you may have had experiences like this with artists and other things, perhaps.
Oh no, every artist we've ever met in the comics village has been exemplary.
Okay, sure.
Definitely.
I don't want to lead you down a path that will get you into too much trouble.
It's why I am always incredibly reluctant to give anybody feedback on.
Yes,
that's what I mean. Though whenever anyone sends you anything that they're so proud of, I feel like I don't have it in my heart, but then I think, is it just that it's just about social acceptance that I just can't go, bit shit that,
I do get what you're saying, because like it does happen at Comic Con sometimes when someone who comes to our table, they're not an exhibitor, but they're like a member of the public, and they'll have their sketchbook or they'll have their comic that they're working on, and they will very, very quickly make the entire exchange about them and the thing that they've got, despite the fact that they're not selling it and we're trying to run a business here and all sorts of other extra stuff there. So they'll spend a lot of time taking us through their portfolio. And, you know, sometimes they're very young or they're very new to it, and it isn't good. It isn't great. And, you know, we all start somewhere, and that's fine. But, like, I really don't want to just be platitudey and just be like, oh, yeah, no, it's great. Oh, yeah, it's great. So I always try and pick on something that is true.
It's how far do you go in terms of constructive criticism?
Yeah.
I'm not here. I will never criticize, because I don't believe in that. Unless someone asks me to tell me what's wrong with their artwork, I will never tell anyone what's wrong with it, because I fundamentally don't believe in that. But if they want to know my thoughts, you know, they haven't asked specifically for me to tear it apart in front of them, but they're just like, hey, what do you think of this? I will find something that is good about it. Like, I really like the way you've done, like, the panel borders.
I really like the way you've drawn a straight line.
You're really good with a ruler.
I know a few people who are reviewers, like, you know, or they run websites where they review comics, and like they've often said it's a bit of a hard thing when you're dealing with like creators who you might know, and they give you a piece of work to look at, and then you feel bad if you say something kind of shit about it. But generally, the way they get around that is they say we don't review bag stuff. So like, if you didn't get a review, that's almost
it's that bad that they couldn't make a
I think that's it, because it's like,
or they couldn't write a whole article.
Yeah. So is there something in your life which has prompted this, Rev, that you can make reference to subtly?
Well, it's wedding venues, and there's nothing that's been too shit, but it sort of relates to wedding venues that we've been looking at the last few days. And I remember one, classically, we were looking around rental properties when you and I were looking for a place to live together, John, along with a couple of other people. And you'll know what I'm going to say now. It's just got me thinking about stuff like this. But the saleswoman from the rental company, basically, she was quite young. I think she was our age, and then she was sort of like, "Oh, so this is the house, and there's the carpets, da 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 da," and then she like pointed our attention to outside, where it was just a slab and a load of pebbles. She goes, there's the garden, no grass out there, so you don't need to worry about mowing that. And we were like, oh, okay.
I guess.
I mean, it's just a bit shit, isn't it? I mean, you can say that's positive because there's no grass there, and I suppose it is in a way, but it's just a bit shit, isn't it? Just
I think what you've touched on there is like, it's not, if you can look at something in a vacuum, like if you just saw like that garden, you would be the judge of whether or not you were worried about it or not. But like when someone's standing there, or whether you're viewing a house or they've got a portfolio, that's horrible, because then you've got the pressure. You got to say something, you know. I remember doing a house viewing, and I was waiting for like half an hour to be let in because I think the estate agent went to the wrong place. I was hungover, and there were toenails all over the floor, like outside. It was so disgusting.
Outside?
Cool.
Yeah, like a bin bag had burst. That's all I can think of.
That's gross.
It was just such a bad first impression. And then when she let me in, I was like, well, I've waited here. I might as well see the damn place. And we went in, and like every room had a massive electric shutter over the window. Yeah, so she was going around like opening these shutters to like let light in, and it felt like a prison. And it's like one room had like a hand dryer, like on the wall.
What, like you'd have in a public toilet?
Yeah, and I think and it's like we're going through this song and dance where like I could probably view the house in a minute and make a judgment on it.
Well, the toenails alone. Probably.
Maybe
yeah,
it's salesmanship I hate. Maybe it's well, no, it isn't. It's having to compliment someone on something that I know and they know perhaps is a bit shit. I'm talking food. I'm talking like the wedding venues we've seen haven't been shit per se, but I have felt a pressure within me to say something nice. When there's a silence, I've felt the need to say, "Oh, it's a nice space." What does that even mean?
Yeah, because you have to fill that space, don't you? I'll tell you what, like on this subject, but going back to houses again, when Ali and I were first looking at our first house, we checked out this house that was in like a real state. It was a proper project, and we were considering.
That's complimentary. What you just said. It was a project. It was just shit, wasn't it?
It was just shit. But this is what's funny though, is that we had two viewings of it. One time with an estate agent, and one time with the guy who owned it. Right?
Oh God.
And the guy who owned it was drunk and not particularly up for selling.
What a
the house,
hero!
It seemed. And
I don't want to leave this house. I don't want to leave. They're making me.
He basically said that. So, like, when the woman took us around for the first time, it was like, oh, it's a bit of a project. You could knock this wall down. Loads of positive shit. We're just like, right, okay. But then we weren't 100% sure, so we went back, and the estate agent was late, but he was in. Oh, so he let us in. He's like, oh, I'll show you around. I'll show you around it again. No problem. Come down here. Come down the basement. She didn't show you the basement, did she? Well, I'll tell you why. She didn't show you the basement. Because it's fucking full of water, isn't it? Like, water's coming through the walls. It's fucking shit. I wouldn't buy this if I was you. I'm not sure I want to sell it either, to be honest. And I'm just, like, stood there like, what?
And he's like, going on?
And he's like, there's no electrics in this house. There's no electrics in here. I'm having to snake power in from another building because that basically this house used to be used to grow weed, and they just circumvented the national grid with a special box they had on the wall, and that's obviously gone now because the police took that. So there's no power in it. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
What is going on?
And we so dodged a bullet because of this, because we were genuinely considering this sort of like project house. And then because he was so brutally honest about how fucking shit it was, we didn't buy it.
See, brutal honesty is the best way forward.
I think he's dead now.
Yeah, probably.
But like, if you're honest though, that just makes you an asshole. Like, regardless of the situation.
No. Yeah.
I am tolerant of kids to a certain extent. Like, if a kid brings me a drawing and it's terrible...
Like me, for example.
Yeah. But if a kid brings me like a drawing and it just is nonsensical, and you think, oh, that's delightful. This? Thank you so much. I'm going to put that on the fridge. Yeah. If a 20-year-old brought me that, I'd say, what the fuck are you doing?
Get out of my house.
Yeah, I would. Who let you in, I would say.
Oh, you've commissioned me to do some artwork for your wedding stuff.
I have commissioned
which
you.
Which is very exciting. And now I'm really worried.
No, I've got faith in you. I wouldn't have commissioned you if I didn't think you could do it.
It's like the reviews. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, you just, you choose. I think life is generally maneuvering yourself into positions where this doesn't happen.
Yeah,
I feel
that's
this is
fine,
actually
but why
the
am I not
struggle
allowed
of
to
life.
be? Why do I have to consider everyone's feelings all the time?
Because
So
that's
that
the
you're not an
horrible
asshole.
burden. The horrible burden of civilization. It's
Yeah,
terrible.
I know, it's awful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just so that you're not an asshole. That's all.
Yeah, but maybe I am, and maybe that's okay.
Well, we
The
all
thing
know
is-
that you are a lovable asshole, like
Thank
deep
you.
down, but you just hide it sometimes.
Yeah,
But this is how it begins, though, because it is like
The crotchety
might-
old man thing.
yeah, you might think that like the one time you think I'm going to tell it like it is, you know, I'm going to put it out there. You might be a hero that first time, and then suddenly it just becomes a thing, and then in 5 years' time you look back and suddenly you're that prick.
Yeah.
You know, you're that guy.
I feel like you've just described Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That is exactly Twitter. Yeah,
I think that
I
is.
think it's a slippery slope. Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. I think
Maybe that's why there's a social etiquette. Maybe that is it. Maybe you've hit the nail on the head, and that is why there's a social etiquette. Why I can't just go around slagging people's passions off.
Here's the
Because
thing.
it's
here's
a
the thing,
slippery
Chris.
slope into becoming just a dickhead.
Just see it this way, Chris. When your life insurance is up, then you can start doing it.
Yeah. I don't know when that is.
I must admit, I was quite drunk when I signed those
Yeah.
papers. So.
Thing is, I did it through a friend.
Oh, like a loan shark.
Like
Oh, no.
yeah, I did it through a friend, and I'm not sure he was actually an insurance salesman.
Was it Psychic Barry?
Yeah. He told me when I was going to die, so I'm insured up to that date.
The problem is you're going to die at Barry's hands. That's the point.
Yeah.
He's going to make sure you die then.
You'll die then. I'll make sure of it.
You're going to die on your 54th birthday.
Gee, thanks, Barry.
I really appreciate a guy who takes pride in his work.
Oh,
Knock,
God.
knock, knock. It's Barry. It's time.
Well, on the subject of the shared social contract, should we do some listener submissions?
Oh, yes, I saw we had some listener submissions. Yes.
I feel so obliged to say that they're all really funny and really good. Great. Okay.
I'll be totally honest at this point. I've not read them.
No,
Well, this
I
is
just
good.
I saw that people have posted and I instantly dismissed them.
So please, listeners, do keep
But
coming
yeah,
to
no,
us.
but yeah, please keep sending in your hates. Yes,
Please do. Yeah, great. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think this one segues quite nicely. So, from friend of the show, Simon Puggleton IV, I hate Twitter.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Well,
Join the rest of us.
that's a low ball. Have you been listening to this show? That's a low ball if ever there was one.
Well, I think it's actually like we had like a little I think at some point we had an unofficial podcast meeting where we said that we can't just make every episode I hate Twitter.
No,
Otherwise we
I think if anything we've struggled to avoid it deliberately because it's a cesspit.
It's fun. I mean, I just simply do not use it at all anymore. At all. In any way.
no, I'm done. The honeymoon is officially over. The
thing is, the problem I've got is that I use it for football and it's very good for football.
Yeah.
But then you get dragged into all the other shite.
I won't even open it.
My life hack.
I don't blame you.
My life hack is if you use Chrome and you have a problem like me, download the web blocker plugin and add Twitter to the list of blocked websites, so you won't you won't be tempted. Delete it off your phone, and then use Hootsuite, which is objectively an awful piece of software. Yet it allows you to kind of like custom build your social media feeds. So I have my Twitter posts. I have my Twitter mentions.
Does this schedule posts
Yeah.
then, Hootsuite?
Yeah, but also you could just go in and post on a whim if you wanted.
You can post from Hootsuite through to Twitter. So
Yes.
You go to Twitter yourself.
I see.
Which is what I do basically. So I see what I post and I see when people message me or use my name, but I don't get the news feed because
That's the unfortunate truth is that as a content provider, if you want to call us that, which unfortunately we have to, but like as Big Punch, we do have to do a level of putting ourselves out there and social media management and stuff like that. So there's a part of us that has to connect to Twitter, sadly. But
can't
I think
escape that
Hootsuite,
world entirely.
no, Hootsuite is a good potential solution to that.
Yeah. So that's my listener. That's my life hack. You can have that.
Have that, Simon.
But I would say the one thing Simon does. This is the most obscene picture I've ever seen. He says, "I do love a good table picnic, though."
Oh, I'm looking at it now.
Oh, I've seen that picture. Yep.
That is now. That
looks good.
That is food porn. That is
I
possibly
thought-
the most astonishing thing I've ever seen.
I thought that was a stock image when he first shared that.
Yeah, like it's too good.
It's too
What's he
good.
got there? He's got figs. He's got pepperonis.
Yeah, he's got some prosciutto.
He's got some
stuff.
cured meats
Yeah.
there. berries, some nice berries.
The thing is that everything he's got on that plate, I think we can all agree, great stuff. But what is special about this image, and potentially you need to get to that Facebook page and you need to go see it. Go to
Join the
Social
Facebook
Hate
group.
page. Come on down.
us.
If only to see this picture, because
if you're listening to this and you're not on the Facebook group, what the hell are you doing?
yeah, it's immaculately laid out. This table picnic is glorious in its composition. He's done really well.
Yeah, I mean, Sim, I've got to say, like, it is just the figs. I think take it to a certain level of
Hedonism.
Underrated food is fig rolls.
Oh, fig rolls! Love a fig
Changed
roll.
my mind.
No.
No, there you go. See.
no, it's just a good. Wait, fig rolls
Oh, here we go.
go hard if you leave them out.
Yes, they do.
Well, don't leave them out then, you prick.
Just eat them.
But that means I'm running through this in my head. That means they're a cake, doesn't it, rather than a biscuit?
Oh yes, because Jaffa cakes go hard.
I didn't call them a biscuit.
I know. So there's no reason for us to fall out.
Well, all right then.
Hey,
Okay.
the government says we can enter people's houses now, so don't make me come over there. lick your door handles or something.
Wouldn't it be good if the government advice was you can enter people's houses whether they want you to or not?
Yeah, screw this like two household thing. You can enter houses, but only if you don't know them.
Only if you don't know that.
And please use a window. Do not contaminate the door.
Come on. Do you have any more?
Yeah, we certainly do. These are good, guys. Keep them coming. Louis writes, I hate spam email feigning to be actual real person emails.
Oh, yeah.
I just got an email notification from, quote-unquote, Mark, with the subject, Hi, Louis. Did you see my last email? The weight of stress in my stomach. Which Mark is this? Did I really let someone down? Am I in trouble?
Mark, which Mark are you? I've just opened my junk email and I've got an email from Andrew G. Haldane.
Ooh,
And it's
friend of the show.
and it's an RE, so he's pretending as though he's replying to something I've sent him, which is obviously not true. And he says, "Hi friend, please contact me for an important transaction. I have an interesting offer which is worth a substantial amount to share with you."
Oh.
So I'll check that out after the
Can you forward that to me if you don't want to do it?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
That'd be good.
It does fill me with a white hot rage. Like spam at the best of times is not great, but like it's the presumption. Like you get it on like because we ostensibly run a business, you know, in name only for tax purposes.
To hide all that money.
In our offshore Cayman bank account. We get like so many emails from people who think that because we're a business, we want their crap, and also like it's already a done deal, as if like this is how you talk in business. So we're like, hey John, just saw your email. I just saw your website. I really like your product, Sandwich Master.
I really like your event or product.
I was just browsing Instagram and I saw your event product or line of branding, and then like in a different font, Sandwich Masters, and it's like, hey, I think we should work together. I've taken the liberty of putting an appointment in my calendar for 4 p.m. So we'll. I look forward to chatting with you then about water coolers or whatever shit he sells.
And then like a week later, you'll get the, hey, did you get my email? Like, I would have expected a reply by now. What? Would you?
Yeah.
I logged into LinkedIn.
They're becoming cleverer, that's for sure.
Well, clearly they all went to the same webinar. Like there was one lesson where this is apparently what marketing is now. Like I logged into LinkedIn like for the first time in months.
Well, there's your mistake.
Which is just where social media goes to die.
Yeah. I've never been able to engage with LinkedIn very well.
I really don't care.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Everyone's showing off about their work, and I don't care about work at the best of times in terms of what other people are doing.
Well,
I'm just like, oh, why should I care about this?
Well, I had like I think a guy, because you get a lot of like, if you say you work in internal communications, which I do, you'll get like a lot of people who will speculatively contact you and go, hey, I just want to connect as one internal communications professional to another, and I've got some great resources. And because I'd had some advice that like, oh, it doesn't hurt to grow your professional network, I was like, okay, you know what? So I accepted a friendship from one of these people.
Oh, God.
And they were like, hey John, thanks for connecting. It's like, oh, no worries. Like, hey, so occasionally I post newsletters that might be of interest. I'm like, oh, that's cool, man, thank you. And then I don't check LinkedIn for like 6 months. And I log back in, and I've had like 15 messages from this guy.
Oh my god!
And they're always like, hey John, LinkedIn sometimes makes it a little hard to see. People's messages. Just want to check, are you getting these? Like, did you see my last message? And then it's like, hey John, haven't heard from you in a while.
Increasingly desperate.
This kind of locks into what Chris was saying, though, where he can't say anything bad. He can't say, fuck you, John. Why didn't you message me, John? Why aren't you replying to my messages, John? He's just like, so, yeah, I know sometimes we're all busy. We're all busy, aren't we, John? But, if you could just take a second. John. That'd be... John.
But it goes back to the old days, like when you would text someone to say, oh, who let's say you liked, or a girl or whatever, say, oh, not sure if I haven't had a reply from you, so I'm just wondering if you got it. But you're texting them to find out if you got their last text, so what's the point? What's the point? Why message them on the same platform to check if they've got the previous message?
This is a true story. When I was at university, I once submitted a story to a publisher, like a short story, and I was so, and you had to send it by post, like print out your story, put it in an envelope, send it off, and I did, and I put it in a letterbox around the house where I was staying at university, and I hadn't heard anything in a few weeks, and honestly, I was so paranoid about whether or not it had actually gone out that I posted myself a letter from that letterbox to see if it would get to me.
And did it?
It did in like a day. So
thing is, I'm
best
laughing.
first-class stamp I ever used.
Post myself a letter, like go somewhere, post it, and see how long it takes. Yeah,
race it back.
We once got like one of those kind of complete unsolicited cold call emails from a convention, from like a show that was like, hey, just want to let you know about a great new show that's coming to I don't know, Bishop's Norton. It's going to be this amazing new fan convention, and
it's called the Comic Bishop.
It's cool. It's featuring the best of popular culture. and they're like, it's this amazing new show. It's gonna be incredible. And we want you to buy tables, which are like £200 each. I'm just like, no, spam, delete.
Yeah.
And then it's like, a few days later, they're like, hey,
notice you deleted my message.
Yeah, no, she didn't respond. Probably a mistake. I'm just sending it again. Because
obviously you want to come. So
yeah, why would you delete the email? Just check it out. And I'm like, okay, delete. And then they keep coming, and like, okay, sometimes they just get the message, or you just go straight to spam. But they got increasingly like desperate, where they were kind of like, hey, why haven't you replied? Yeah. If you don't want to hear from us, please just, all you have to do is say, all you have to do is say.
You reply, that's an engagement, and that is their way of hooking you in, or hooking you onto another list or whatever, isn't it?
Well, but here's the thing: just because they were getting like really kind of like personal, not like attacking, but kind of like, it didn't sound like it was being written by like a professional marketer. It just kept kind of coming to the point where I replied, and I was like, hi, Teresa, look, okay, these are unsolicited messages. We don't actually owe you a reply, but I just want to say we're not interested. Thank you. And then she got back to me, and she was like, yeah, but if you don't tell me you're not interested, how would I know not to contact you? It's like, you shouldn't be contacting me in the first place, Teresa.
Yeah, Teresa, that reasoning extends to the fact that you must contact everyone on the planet because they haven't told you that they don't want to be contacted.
It's like assuming everyone in the whole world wants a product unless they say no.
Teresa, the work you're giving yourself, your blood pressure, Teresa, just think about that.
Very odd.
And she was like, but it's so hard. I have so many tickets to sell. I'm like, Teresa, You're in the wrong industry.
It's not
Go
my
away.
fault, Teresa.
Anyway, we have another listener submission.
delightful.
here.
Oh, wonderful.
Andrew, friend of the show, says, and he uses a naughty word here, but he says, I quite hate organising books.
Well, I've sworn quite a lot during this podcast, John.
Fuck it.
I think we're covered.
Okay, I fucking hate
Oh, go on,
organising
John.
books.
Jesus
It's a bit
Christ.
strong.
God, yeah.
He hates organising books.
Books.
Just books. So I'm going to assume that he loves organising everything else. But he says,
Yes.
what do you order them by? Is it author, title? What about a book series? Is it in order or publication date? What if one book is too big and doesn't fit? Do you move all the books of just one? Why am I so stressed and angry about this shit?
Andrew, I've got an answer for you. Solves all your problems.
Nick's got an answer.
Spine colour. Just go via spine colour.
Oh, no,
So
you're wrong.
Blues. All right, what's your answer?
Andrew, Nick is a war
answer
criminal.
is to-
Do you not talk-
Yeah. My answer is to remove the sleeve from all your books, and then it won't matter. Because behind the sleeve of every book is a black cover, and they all look the same, and then just order them alphabetically by what is the most prominent word on the spine.
If they're paperbacks, do I just rip the cover off?
Don't buy paperbacks.
Okay, sorry. Thank you, sir.
There we are.
Thank you for your advice. Great book.
That's the
suggestion.
answer.
That's kind of like the same. That's like organising all your tinned goods by kind of just peeling all the labels off.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then,
then
you
you-
get, and then you get a nice surprise.
Nice surprise. don't you?
Yeah.
You can put
Andrew.
peach halves into your chili.
And then, and that's how I ended up with baked beans in my chili.
Wait, no, that actually sounds.
That would be all right, actually.
That sounds all right. Yeah.
I'd eat the shit out of that. Andrew, just give up. Burn them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Burn books.
I hear there are a lot of book burnings going on worldwide at the moment.
Yeah, so maybe you've lost a hobby, but maybe you've got in really early on a hot new trend, which is burning literature.
I'm just looking at my bookshelf while we're talking. They're sort of by height, I guess.
By height. Okay.
Mine
But I've got
are-
a lot of my bookshelf is full of random old shit. Like it's full of travel books, and I've got a Star Wars infographic book there. There's an England football book. There's Adebayo Akinfenwa's autobiography.
I was
my
going to
God.
make that joke.
Yeah,
Do you
no,
actually have
there
that?
is genuinely that book on my bookshelf.
Because he's the only named Gillingham footballer I can think of, and I was
Yeah.
going to joke that you had his autobiography. My
No,
life.
I do. It's on my bookshelf. I have Afterlife Inc. is
It's alphabetical.
Afterlife Inc. is next to Adebayo Akinfenwa's autobiography.
There you go.
Wow.
Alphabetical. There we
Shouldn't
are.
it be before?
so we've come back to a classic, just alphabetical.
Yeah, but they are also the same height. I don't
What's
know.
yours,
I
John?
don't know.
Because I feel like John, you'd be quite like anal about this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh God, yes.
No, I have a. I'm looking at my graphic novel collection now, which is on a floor-to-ceiling shelf. So there's quite a lot of it.
There it is.
It is alphabetical by title of the book, because I don't care about the creative team. Who cares about the creative team? They're not
Nobody
real
cares
people.
about them.
And then on the bottom shelf, I have a separate hardback and oversized book section, which is basically for anything which won't fit on the others. And then it's anything goes down there. Like
Yeah,
it's a
it's
complete
wild
free
down
for
there.
all.
Yeah, my bottom shelves are all oversized books and art books and stuff, and it's chaos down there. It's like wild. It's so much fun.
I have certainly got a degree of OCD when it comes to organising things.
I don't.
It's I do. I
I'm
definitely
trying to think of a
do
good one at
have
the
a
moment, but I've just got a. Even in the fridge, certain things have to go on certain shelves and things like that. It's like the dog's treats and stuff have to go on the middle shelf, meats bottom shelf, sauces top shelf. That's
I just like, if there's a gap, I'll just jam something in there. Like usually, what I like to use is butter is a really good packing device. So it's like if I just scoop butter
Unwrapped,
out,
yeah.
just
scoop
scoop
it
a
out
load
with
of
my
butter and
hand.
just smear it all over
And
the
just,
product.
like plug all the cracks just so that everything is nicely held in place.
That's like if you ever get like pate in like a really fancy restaurant, it's got a layer of butter on the top to preserve it. That's how you keep everything fresh in the fridge.
Exactly. It doesn't work weirdly. But
Well, I just put up a few new shelves in our pantry because we have like a little alcove where we
Get
keep our
you.
dried goods. And my kind of like obsessiveness is generally like, it's not a problem until I notice it. So like our pantry was completely chaotic, and then I finally looked at it and I was like, no, this will not stand.
I can't deal with it.
And then just blitzed it, and now we have like, oh, that's a baking shelf. That's like oils, salt, and pepper shelf. That's like a tinned goods shelf. It's delightful.
Yeah. Poison.
See, some people would just see that as being organised.
Yeah.
But other people would see that as OCD.
Well, it does kind of cause me like a kind of...
I mean,
I know it's a problem.
Yeah.
It hurts. Like, it physically hurts.
Yeah.
Until
I've got, in our larder, we've got one shelf, I think it's just got an onion on it, and then most of the stuff's on the floor.
All the eggs.
Just come home and throw them in.
I'll be honest with you, since we've started this bit, I'm looking at my bookshelf an awful lot to see what's wrong with it. Because that could be better, my bookshelf. Looking at it now.
Jesus. Right, let's wind this up so you can get onto your bookshelf.
But that's a fun project you've gained there.
Oh, well, is it?
I wouldn't call it fun, but...
I mean, it was like your first house, Nick. It was a project.
Yeah. It was a water-filled project.
Okay, well, thank you, listeners. That was a fine bunch of submissions. Nick.
Yes, well done, everyone.
Oh, hello.
Do you have a love?
Oh, yeah, I do. I do have a love. My love is penis oil.
Oh, no.
Penis oil.
Penis.
So
As in
recently,
penis.
I became very aware of the website wish.com. Mainly because a few people I watch on YouTube and stuff did a few videos on it. And so finally I said to Ali, hey, we should do a fun game where we set a budget and then we buy each other like up to that budget of stuff off of wish.com, because it seems like a really funny, wild place that's got loads of crazy shit on it and it might be really fun. Turns out it's really not that fun. Like, it's not a fun place, and we've abandoned the game because it's really hard to find anything good. The only thing I seem to be able to find is penis oil. That is...
Oh, no.
So I'll scroll down through the products and there'll be all sorts of things like, it's an iPhone X for £5. It's like, is it though? Really? And then like loads of technology stuff, loads of Beats headphones, all things that are at impossible prices that they possibly can't be. And then every probably 7th item is penis oil, which is either, sometimes it's to make you last longer, sometimes it's to make you bigger, sometimes it's to... it varies. It massively varies what it does. But I've got some great English here from the description.
I was really hoping this would be some kind, like you were going to pull the rug out and go, oh, and penis oil is made from the oil of the penis plant, and it was going to spelt like completely differently. But no, it's dick oil.
It's just for dick oil.
Here's the thing: is that most of them say like the first image will be something like 60% larger, or like last for 60 minutes and stuff. And then when you get to the very end of the description, it says lubricant. So I think we know what it actually is. It doesn't do any of those other things.
I mean, I don't want to like cast aspersions on
This is a love.
Yeah,
because it's hilarious. Especially this, what I'm about to read to you.
Oh,
now.
sorry. Yeah, please. I don't want to...
Okay.
All I wanted to add very quickly was like a 60% growth would actually be quite alarming. Like, you know, oh man, wow. Oh, what results?
No.
I'd be like, oh no, call a scientist. Like,
If you woke up the next morning with a 60% penis growth, you would be upset, I think.
You'd be in pain. You'd have ripped your fucking shorts. So one of the penis oils had a survey which had been done to prove how important this product is. And I don't know what the questions were. All I have is the answers to the questions, right? So question 1. 56% of females are not satisfied with premature ejaculation.
What's that?
I don't know. I don't know what ejaculation is. But 56% of females...
It suggests a double ejaculation.
Bam!
Both barrels.
Question 2. 80% of females want her partners has bigger, stronger, thicker penis. That's what they want her partners
They want her partner to has.
They want her partner to has bigger, stronger, thicker penis.
That's my favourite Daft Punk song.
Question 3.
Stronger, thicker, faster.
Penis. Question 3. Females looking lovers has 60% of male can't be satisfied with them for small penis.
I mean, that could be anything.
That sounded like a double negative.
Females looking lovers has 60% of male.
60% of male
can't be satisfied with them for small penis. Okay.
So 60% of the women who find men who are having
Small.
the penis.
Looking lovers.
Having the small penis.
60% of women who have penis lovers.
Female looking lovers. So it's lovers who look female. I guess not necessarily female. Females looking lovers has 60% of male can't be satisfied with them for small penis. I think it's pretty clear, that one. So let's move on.
Can't be satisfied with 60% of their penis.
that remaining 40% is okay.
Those first 2/5 are, astounding.
So this final comment is kind of like a conclusion, I feel. Like this sums up the whole product and the whole survey. Ready? Number 4.
Yeah.
So, the male are troubled his partner always find another else man. Okay?
Can we repeat that just in case someone didn't hear it?
Question number 4. So, the male are troubles his partner always find another else man. Okay? So, penis oil by now.
Penis
Does it?
Oh.
Does
I
it?
can't even pass that one. I think what they're trying to say is the woman
man
will find
who's
another
dissatisfied with his penis size goes to find another man.
man. His partner will find another
Oh, I
else
see.
man. Maybe.
But only if he's dissatisfied.
And then underneath this survey, there's because this is a JPEG that I've saved to my desktop, which I'm really happy about. And underneath this is the JPEG of a woman pointing at a man's crotch. The man's head is cropped out the top of the image, and she's just leaning in
Just
and
as
pointing.
well, poor sod.
And she's just laughing at his penis. But he's wearing pants, so you can't see how big his penis is.
Maybe she's
just
laughing
like,
at his pants.
Maybe she is laughing at his pants. They're quite baggy.
Probably to hold his massive penis.
Yeah. Probably to hold his third leg.
It's wound up in there like a garden hose.
It's like a hummingbird's tongue. My God!
yeah.
Well,
Penis oil by now. There was always also on there because I think Wix just thinks I have a little penis, which is fair enough, I guess. But like, also on there was not Wix, sorry, Wish. Wix is a website building.
Wix.
Hey. Yeah, there was another product which was a penis extender, which was something you wear and strap to your penis that makes it bigger. I can't imagine that being fun for anyone.
yeah, I don't think anyone in a relationship would get joy out of that.
No. Oh, hang on, love. Let me just strap on my penis extender. I don't know. But yeah, go to wish.com. There's great stuff there, I guess.
Is it like a system of weights and pulleys or something?
It looked like, if you imagine a dildo, but you hollowed it out. And it was made of that translucent material that, those sandals you used to wear as a kid that you could walk in a river. It looked like it was made of that.
Oh, no.
And then it had what looked like a buckle at the end, which you tied, and there was a nice diagram to help illustrate it, which you tied around the balls. So you're like, and then round the balls, and then tighten to the highest, hole you can stomach, I guess. But my question on the penis extender was, do you put it on when you're erect? Or do you put it on before you're erect and then just hope to God that you don't just compress your penis inside the space? I don't know. I don't know how it works.
I always knew this podcast would end up here one day.
Hang on a minute. This isn't episode 69, is it? I've got it.
Oh my God, is it?
Oh, what number is it, John?
I don't think it is.
Oh.
But we could do a special feature.
I feel like
Oh
it's
no,
like
sorry. Episode 64.
Oh.
Okay, well, here we go for 69. Let's find our favourite and least favourite wish.com gifts for your other half. I think it sounds like a great idea.
I've got.
Are you gonna give us some options, or are we supposed to look as well?
Well, you've got penis oil and penis extender off the bat.
Give us a budget, and then we'll work from there.
Okay,
I'm going to wish.com.
You'll have to sign in. You have to make an account. That's the problem.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I'm on it now. Here we go. Penis delay spray. 60 minutes long delay.
Oh, I've got their first album.
That's too long. That's too long. 60 minutes delay.
You'll have a penis for 60 minutes.
That means you've got to be preemptive about it.
Yeah. It says here, use this product 15 minutes before sex.
I'd just start an hour later.
And then at the bottom it says sex lubricant in lots of exclamation marks. That's good, isn't it?
I've got a love.
We're so crude now, aren't we?
Tell me, John.
I've got a love.
Tell me, John.
Pull up. I love the the United States of America's $1 trillion coin.
Oh, I heard about this. How did I hear it? Was it you?
It may have been me. I may have dropped it into conversation.
Who's created that?
Okay, well, here's the thing. Right, this sounds boring, but it's actually kind of weirdly stupid.
Oh, no, it was on your quiz, wasn't it? It was on your quiz. I remember. Yeah.
Okay, so
I didn't take part in this quiz.
No, you had better things to do.
I was on a stag do.
Okay, so
Indoors.
Apparently in America they have a thing called the so-called debt ceiling, which is like that's a limit on the amount of money the country or the government is allowed to borrow. So it's like something crazy. It's at like $15 trillion at the moment. Like that's how much debt the country has. So every year they say, okay, or like every term of office or whatever. Okay, we've got a new president, and they're like, okay, we already have more debt than money has ever existed in the world, but we're still going to keep spending. We're still going to keep spending. So they're like, okay, so this year we'll raise the debt ceiling to 16 trillion.
Sure.
Like every year they raise it, so it's only getting higher. But everyone's fine because they're just like, this is a mythical amount of money. It doesn't really exist.
Well, that's what's great about capitalism. It's just made up. So
there's always more money. It's fine.
You can always create more money
as long as you just say
fictionally.
Yeah. But the way it works is like it kind of also limits the amount of money that the government is allowed to spend each year.
Fine.
So like Barack Obama, I think this is in like middle of his first term, but they'd basically run out of money. Like Barack Obama, big spending spree. He spent all his money.
Cream horns.
Sure. And if he wanted to borrow more money, he'd have to go
so much.
Offwish.com.
He would have to go to the Senate or Congress. I don't know. We're all the same.
And he was scared of them. He didn't like.
Yeah, and he'd have to say, I'd like you to raise the debt ceiling again.
So I can borrow some more money.
Because he doesn't have the power to do that. He has to go to Congress.
Fine. Or
the Senate or whatever. And historically, that's always been fine. Like historically, the Senate has also always just gone like, yeah, sure, whatever. Click. How much do you want? Sign the budget.
How much? How do you want? Yeah. How do you want? Do you want it cash?
But he had an antagonistic relationship with the Republican-controlled Senate or whatever, so they weren't going to do it. So the U.S. government was like, how can we make money? How can we literally make money so we don't have to go to the Senate and ask them to give us some?
Right.
So apparently the president does not have the power to print money. He can't do that. That has to be approved by the Senate. The one thing that the president is allowed to do is print anniversary money.
Like commemorative coins.
Yeah, commemorative coins. So like, it's like, oh, we're printing a new coin to celebrate the Queen's latest haircut, and everyone goes crazy for it. It's like a very shiny £5 coin or something. Okay. So the president and the government were like, hang on a minute, what if we printed because they're legal currency, a commemorative coin is legal currency. They go, what if we printed a single coin worth $1 trillion?
Right.
So what if we went to the nice little man in the office who prints the shiny celebratory commemorative dollars, and we say, we'd like you to print a very special dollar.
Oh, what's that? Is that a $5 coin? Is that a $10 coin? What can I do you for? What do you want, mate?
Oh,
I know. I'll let you finish the story momentarily, but the thing I won't. No, the thing I find most amazing is that literally a $1 value is a bill. So I find it amazing that $1 trillion value would be a coin rather than a bill.
Yeah, but again, they don't really print commemorative bills. I think it was like
I understand.
They only had one machine. They only had like one little hand,
it had to be done right there and then, and all they had was a coin making machine.
Yeah, as Nick said, it's like the thing you get at like gift shops where you put a penny in and it will press it into.
Yeah.
So apparently they could do this. So they're like, we're going to print one coin, which is actual legal tender, which is worth $1 trillion.
Right.
And then we're going to go and we're going to put it into our bank account. So we have now gained $1 trillion.
Isn't that like printing money, though? Isn't that
Yes.
devaluing the dollar?
That is essentially a way to circumvent what he's not
Quantitative
allowed to do.
easing.
Yeah,
as we've been
and
told it's called.
apparently they were considering doing it so that they could then spend what they wanted until the next year when the next budget came out, and then they would simply delete that coin. They would take that coin and melt it down, thus freeing the spirit
of the $1 trillion.
Freeing the spirit of capitalism, finally.
You freed me.
Derek Akora flies out.
Did they make the coin?
No, but they didn't at the last minute. They didn't. But the fact is, they had
you would have
genuine,
to-
serious plans to do it.
You would have to guard the fuck out of that coin, wouldn't you?
Surely
Yeah, where'd
that
you
would
put
be
it?
held at Fort Knox or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a good documentary on Netflix about Fort Knox, about how like mental it is.
Oh yeah.
If you get, it's called America's Book of Secrets.
Oh,
It's
okay.
an episode about Fort Knox, and it's just crazy in there.
That's just giving
There's
me the idea.
so many bars of gold in there.
It would be such a cool story about stealing the $1 trillion coin. There's something
Yeah.
in that, I think.
But how would you spend it?
That is
Yeah.
tricky. I'll give you that.
You go to like, I don't know, Gap or something. You buy like a T-shirt.
You got
How will you
change
be
for this?
paying? How will you be paying? I'm sure this will do.
What?
It's the
Yeah.
the $1 trillion dollar coin in existence.
Well, and it's also, it weighs as much as $1 trillion.
Oh, God,
like,
okay.
Yeah, actual dollar coins. It just dents the floor, like it's, and when gravity starts warping.
It'll like make a hole in your hand if you try and pick it up.
When I lived in Canada and I worked at Starbucks, I used to get like your share of the tips at the end of the week, and they just gave you like a sack of coins rather than just adding it to your.
It's like a
paycheck.
Hessian sack. It's got bones in it as well, but it's just sifted out.
So I had this massive sack of coins, like all of like pennies basically, in my coat pocket. And I remember going to a bookshop after work and thinking, oh, I'd quite like to buy this book. And asking, this is legal tender, can I pay with this? And the guy was like, no, you can't.
Really?
Yeah, he turned me away.
They're
Just
only
because I
obligated.
threw a sack of pennies at him.
Apparently, shops in the UK, especially, are only obligated to take change up to a certain amount.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then they can choose to still take it if they want to, but they don't have to.
This is something I learned from the office, that you could technically pay for stuff with a postage stamp as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mad.
But you can't. I don't know if that's enforceable. But
No,
technically you can get on the bus
I bet it isn't.
and pay with a postage stamp.
I also, because I've been watching like a few little videos about, of all things, money, and they have been kind of interesting. And apparently, like when George W. Bush was in power, you know, like as you said, Rev, like in America, like a $1 bill is a piece of paper. They don't really have coins, but apparently they realize, I don't know, I don't really understand it, but they reckoned that like those bills were somehow hurting the economy. It'd be better if people use coins. I don't know why. I think it was to encourage people to spend more small amounts of money. I don't know. But they printed a coin. Like they made a dollar coin, which was quite radical for America. And they wanted to get them out there. They wanted people to use them because people didn't like them. They were like, "Oh, I don't like this. Oh, it's gross. Who
I
has
don't
like
like
a
change.
Yeah, who has a one? Hey, that's good. That's a good joke.
Uh-huh.
They're like, "Oh, I don't like coins." So to
I mean, maybe this is the fact that I've lived in England for 34 years, but I don't see the point of a dollar bill because you can't buy anything for $1.
No, you're only
Not
going to
really.
change. But no, but the point is, they were like, okay, well, we want to encourage people to use them, and everyone hates them. So they set up a website where you could go to the website and buy dollars in coins at a cost of 1 to 1.
Okay,
So
money
you
shot.
could, you could go, I'm going to spend £200 on this website. They will post me. This is real. They will post me $200 coins.
Right.
But what they didn't realize is that people would often pay for these on their credit card.
Brilliant.
And the way it works on a credit card is the more you spend on your credit card, you actually get you earn points, you earn rewards. So overnight, people were ordering tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of a 1-to-1 exchange, getting like thousands of pounds worth of credit card points and rewards and privileges.
Yeah.
And then paying it off.
And then just depositing the coins right back into their bank account.
I like stuff like that because the government's obviously thought they're really clever by doing that. And then they've just been outsmarted by the general public. I love stuff like that.
Instantly outsmarted.
When people just immediately figure out that there's a flaw in this campaign that's probably taken them 6 months to develop with a load of experts, and the public immediately figures it out.
Because it sounds flawless, doesn't it? You're like, well, we're only charging. It's a one-to-one exchange. It could only work. But then, of course, all those coins just went into people's bank accounts, so they're not being circulated, and they reckon they lost hundreds of thousands of pounds. The economy lost hundreds of thousands of pounds in rewards on on credit cards.
Brilliant
Money,
again,
everybody. It's
capitalism
great.
is fucking garbage.
Anyway, that's me.
Yeah, Chris, do you have a love?
I've got a love. Yeah, sure. Why not? My love is the comic timing of my dog. It's incredible. You've never seen anything like it. So we were watching Hamilton last night, which is now available on a streaming platform that I won't name or
Disney
publicise here. Disney Plus, that's it. Oh, damn it! So we were watching Hamilton on Disney Plus last night, the best streaming service there is.
Not a sponsor.
Damn it!
Shit, you could have not said that.
So
It's
there's a song.
it's no Disney negative.
Yeah,
It's just the death of Bambi 24/7.
Oh my god. And Mufasa.
Yeah, it's just the deaths. Yeah.
Just the deaths.
There's a song called "Wait for It" in Hamilton.
It's Disney, but just the deaths.
I would watch that channel for a bit, and then I'd get upset and I'd stop.
For a bit. I mean, I'd watch it for a bit.
I mean, I'm paying for it.
Yeah, I mean...
Sorry, that's fine. So the song "Wait for It," so it goes, "I'm willing to wait for it. I'm willing to wait for it," and then there's a bit at the end where it goes, "I'm willing to," and there's a bit of a gap for some reason. I don't know why.
Very
Don't ask
clever.
me why.
I wonder why.
Anyway,
Yeah, I don't know why.
so the last night we were watching it, and it goes, "I'm willing to wait for it. I'm willing to," and literally on the pause, the dog throws up all over the rug. I'm not joking. It was amazing. It was like she knew. It went all over the rug.
I thought you were going to say bark.
No,
I was thinking bark as well. That was fucking amazing.
she just threw up all over the rug.
Wait for it.
I'm willing to.
Wait for it.
Just went everywhere. I've never seen anything like it.
Oh my god, that's absolutely outstanding.
But it's, so that was amazing. But she does stuff
God.
like that all the time. Her comic timing for a dog is incredible. Like a couple of times we've looked at her and just gone, what are you doing? And because it's a hot day, obviously she's not doing it deliberately as far as I'm aware, but she starts panting at that moment. So it's like, what are you doing? And it looks like she's just started smiling, just in a comic way. Where she's actually started panting, but it's just the timing of it. It's amazing. It just happens a lot.
Oh man,
There must be something to that.
Jeez Louise, I mean, what an ending. That was amazing. I have nothing to add, and I almost don't feel like I should.
I think
It's
we should.
good.
I think that should be the end. That is the end.
Oh, well, gentlemen, what do we think won this evening? Love or hate?
Well, I think
I know.
Vomit. I think I know. Yeah.
I think I do
Definitely love.
too, but I think you should go first.
Well, I say love as well.
Well, I was wrong then.
Keep on trying, though. God knows. Thank you everyone for listening. This has been an absolute delight. If you're not already a member, get yourself on over to Facebook.
If you're
Come
listening to
join
this
the
and you're
group.
not on the Facebook group, there's something wrong with you.
Oh, let's be honest. There's nobody listening who isn't in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
And they'll all be at your wedding. Jeff and Andy.
Both of them.
Both of them.
Well, this has been an absolute delight. How do we normally end it? How are we going to end this one?
You know.
Let's turn it on its ear.
Yeah.
I think it's time for John to do the ending he's been planning for a very long time.
Yeah, go on, John.
It just hasn't been the right time for it, but I think now is the time.
And remember, the hate was in you all along.